This afternoon, you just said that the business committee must program the date in which the decision for the budget statement and the budget policy will be taken. Mr. Speaker, it is missing in this business statement before us. Mr. Speaker, it is only right that we program it, then we know exactly the date that we will take that decision. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, attached to the business statement is a schedule for submission of committee reports and debate of annual estimate for the 2024 financial year, Mr. Speaker. And you can see that some of the date for submission of reports is Thursday, Friday of next week. Mr. Speaker, how can we adopt or debate a report on the estimate of ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as constitutional bodies, when the budget policy itself we have not taken a debate on? Mr. Speaker, that cannot be right. That cannot be right. Until we take decision on the policy, we cannot consider the estimate for ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as the constitutional bodies. Because this policy is what gives rise to the estimate. Mr. Speaker, I submit that this schedule be pushed further to the following week until a decision has been taken by this House on the budget policy. Mr. Speaker, I so submit.
First issue has to do with the business statement that has been presented by the Deputy Majority Whip. Mr. Speaker, on page 3, you have statements, presentation of papers, annual budget estimates of the audit service for the year ending 31st December 2024. And it goes on. Mr. Speaker, earlier you gave a directive that the budget statement is still before the House, and that later next week, the decision will be taken on what the status of the budget is. So when I have this listed on Monday, and the indication is that the budget estimates will be presented on Monday, and next week starts from Monday, I am wondering what that means as far as your earlier directive that the final decision on the budget will be taken sometime next week is concerned. So that's the guidance, first of all, that I want. The second guidance, Mr. Speaker, relates to the condition of the House this afternoon. Mr. Speaker, when I look at the votes and proceedings, and I look at page 8, you have members who were absent with permission, and their names are captured on page 8 of the votes and proceedings. Mr. Speaker, when you look at our standing orders also, Standing Order 15.2 says that, starting from 1, every member shall attend the service of the House unless leave of absence has been given him by Mr. Speaker. 2, leave of absence may be given by Mr. Speaker to any member who shows sufficient cause justifying his absence or who is away on official or parliamentary duties. 16.2 says a member shall be excused from service on the House or any committee so long as he has leave of absence. The Speaker, so my second guidance sought from you is in relation to the condition of the House today. When I look at the other side, I see that most of the seats behind the leadership of the majority is empty. And I want to be guided if this is as a result of absence that have been sought from you, and if it has been granted. Thank you very much.
outnumber the majority, and outnumber the majority side. The number is 30. Yes, I've alluded to that. Having said so, Mr. Speaker, the issue that my colleague has related to, I have never disrespected the chair. Mr. Speaker, I believe the deputy minority leader should know that before Abraham was, I am. Now that he's pretending to be your friend, Mr. Speaker, he should know that before he aligned with you, I was there already with you. You should know that. Mr. Speaker, you use a phrase. You should be wary of fair weather friends. You should be wary of fair weather friends. I have never.
Is today's weather fair? Today's weather, is it fair?
Mr. Speaker, today's weather is very fair. Be wary of fair weather friends. Mr. Speaker, the Olympic man we used to know was a Tema, not in this house. not in this house. Mr. Speaker, I have often restrained myself. And any time that I've disagreed with the Speaker, I relate to the rules. Disagreement is not disrespect. There's a world of difference between that. My former friend, Amakufibua. Mr. Speaker, you see the pessimist. When I said my former friend, you think that he's no longer a friend. He's been elevated to another level. You see the pessimist. I said my former friend. So he's now a current good friend. Mr. Speaker, so I will never disrespect the chair and indeed the Speaker. But on occasions that I've disagreed with him, I disagree with him on matters of substance, especially on rules. Maybe and his own interpretation of the Constitution, I may disagree with him. That is no disrespect. As I'm saying to you, there's a world of difference. But, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to respond to the Honorable Amakufibua, who think that because he has given me some assurance somewhere, he can take my word for granted. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Honorable members, there's some short.
Are up in arms. They are thoroughly, absolutely, and clearly, Mr. Speaker, opposed to this directive by the minister responsible for education. In their own words, this directive is going to totally throw the academic calendar into disarray. There is going to be confusion, chaos, and they are not even psychologically prepared. They have not rested. I heard the teacher union say that they have not even rested and prepared adequately for this new academic year with the freshers who, Mr. Speaker, are still being placed. We are all receiving calls from constituents about the placement. The first batch was done only yesterday, and they are not done with the placements. There are still a number of students, a considerable number, who have not been placed, running into thousands from what we hear. And Mr. Speaker, the point must also be stressed that a good number of these secondary schools are far afield in other regions where these teenagers have never been to. They have to be accompanied, their parents must prepare So even in addition to the logistical arrangements, shopping for them, going to secure the prospectus, and then making sure you are able to buy the items on the prospectus, you must make time to accompany your children or your wards to these schools. Imagine you live in Northton and you have gained admission, or you have been placed, say, in Wesley Girls, or in Tamale Secondary, or in Notre Dame, or Wa Senior High. Look at the distance. Mr. Speaker, all of this is supposed to be done this weekend. Just 3 days, and they say that they want to resume academic work on Monday. Mr. Speaker, as the ranking member has said, this rush, they are going there to have only 2 weeks of academic work. We all know that when schools reopen, students arrive, they must do orientation, which takes some days. So really, it's just about a week of academic work. And Mr. Speaker, I must add, very importantly, that for those of us in the VRA-induced floods affected constituencies, we have, as we speak, displaced persons in these secondary schools. In my constituency, Mefes and Kizito Senior High Technical School is the biggest displaced camp. We have 1,500 displaced persons there. That's the NADMO record. The displaced persons have not been relocated. They have not been resettled anywhere. So how do you expect people who are posted to Mefes and Kizito to be accommodated? It's practically impossible. So this directive does not take into consideration a lot of factors. If my colleague from Central Town was here, Adidome Secondary School is affected. It's also a displaced camp. I don't know how they are going to cope. So one wonders really what is happening at the Ministry of Education. And the minister ought to know, because he came round, he came to my constituency and was at...
Honorable nominee, what is your take on this? Are you a surrogate of anybody?
Honorable Chair, then before I go on, there's one more disclosure that I have to make in respect of Honorable Member Bulsa North. I was actually the chairman at his wedding reception.
Chairman was right. That he almost said that, yes, I do on your lips too.
Honorable Chair, if I may answer. Whoever says I'm a surrogate of a law firm or implicates me in the Japa transaction clearly does not know me. Because if you know me, you wouldn't make such allegations. And so all these things that came up, I took it as coming from uninformed positions. Because I was not involved in the Japa transaction in any form or manner, by any stretch of the imagination, however fertile. As for relationships, as I just disclosed, the fact that I was so close to you at some point in our lives will not give you, or you not give me a free pass because of that relationship. And that is why I'm here. And if there is a matter, I'm not going to say because I know one person or the other, I'm going to give the person a free pass. I certainly will investigate. But the truth of the matter ought to be told. I wasn't involved in the deal. I was nowhere near it. Indeed, until it started coming up, I didn't even know what it was. For the record, that is the truth.
So, Chairman, just to, there's I'm happy you stated that you used to teach conflict of the laws and law of contract. Now you know the evidential rule, burden of proof, particularly in criminal jurisprudence, proof beyond reasonable doubt. Do you share the view that we should criminalize unexplained wealth in Ghana? Do you share the view that we should criminalize unexplained wealth in Ghana?
It is a bit too, Honorable Chair, it is a bit too overbroad to state unexplained wealth. In criminal jurisprudence, legal criminal constructs should be more pointed, more focused, and clearly delineated, because of the specter of someone ending up in jail, losing his liberty, or being fined heftily for an amount. And so if we are to place it in proper context, unexplained wealth, I would say that if the person cannot reasonably explain as matched against his lawful income the amount of money in question, then that aspect, in my opinion, should be criminalized. But if you can reasonably explain how you came about that amount of money, then that should be allowable, that should be acceptable. So in your context, unexplained wealth will be reasonable explanation of the source of that property, wealth, or funds.
Chairman, just to take the nominee, I appreciate your response to it. If you take the United Kingdom today, where Ghana largely borrowed its legal system, largely, they now, for purposes of combating economic crime and fighting corruption, have what they call a reverse burden of proof, that the onus must shift, that when those assets cannot be explained for, an irrebuttable presumption is that they are acquired illegally, fraudulently, it may be taking advantage of the state and its resources. So they now go for a reverse burden of proof. Will you subscribe to that for Ghana in our quest, our collective quest to fight corruption? Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Chair, I'll link it to my answer to the first question. Also pointing out that criminal constructs are very, very dangerous if not well thought out. A reverse onus clause, as the honorable member rightly put it, puts the burden on the accused person to explain explain one way or the other the charge against him, rather than the prosecution bearing the burden of proving his guilt. In the context in which I answered the first question, of course, if the construct here is that you cannot reasonably explain as to how you came by that wealth or property matched against your lawful income, then it presupposes that I have already placed the onus on you to show as to how you came lawfully in possession of that wealth, property, or funds.
But there is doom looming ahead of us, that very soon a murderer will boldly walk to court to seek an injunction. Should I feel frustrated and resign? I took an oath when I was sworn in. And in my life, when I take on the reins to do something, I do it to the best of my ability. I ought to. Those who do not understand tree, please forgive me. They say I'm a unkwanoma. Me de me cry abo afore. Me ye de me to me. Emre so a eko.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number 2, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi, inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are 2 types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Well, you're welcome. Good morning to you. It's the 1st of December 2023, the last month into the year. Let's see how that will go, and we hope that we can actually go through all the challenges that we're faced with, surmount it, and then get into year 2024. I've always said that I love election years, right? So, well, you're welcome to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana. We're coming to you live from the Peniel studio here at North Ridge, and we're also streaming on Facebook. It's on Good Morning Ghana, and it's also on Metro TV Ghana, all on Facebook. It's a holiday, the Farmers' Day, the 35th anniversary that we're celebrating is actually happening in Takwa in the Western region today. So we'll be bringing you details of what will happen subsequently. And because of that, most of the papers did not come. Of course, the good old Catholic Standard was on the is on the banner, and so we will capture the headline. It says that church doesn't support criminalization of LGBT. Church doesn't support criminalization of LGBT. African Pope in God's time. African Pope in God's time. It comes with a picture of Cardinal Texan, who's been in the news recently about comments he made about LGBT activities. Well, Ghanaians have been divided into 2 in terms of their opinions about his comments. 3 Ghanaians receive international awards. We also have maintain discipline in Catholic schools. Africa must establish culture of fraternity. So I want to ask this question. With the Catholic schools, right? If you're a Catholic teacher or whatever, I don't know, however, you lead students in the schools, or you might be a priest or something, and you find that your children or one of the students or some of the students are engaged in LGBT activities, what will you do? It's just a question. I don't have any opinion on it. And that is with regards to what Cardinal Texan said, and what's captured on the front page of the Catholic Standard, maintain discipline in Catholic schools. I know my siblings attended Catholic schools. I know how apt they keep their disciplines. So when you find that any of the children or the students are involved in LGBT activities, what will you do? This question, I think I would like to have answers of that. So those of you who will be texting to our WhatsApp line and the Facebook and Twitter, you may want to respond to that. And if you have ever associated with Catholic trainings, either church or school, you may want to educate me. I want to understand, how that works. Anyway, so you're welcome to Good Morning Ghana. I'll introduce the guests to you later. Let's take a breather. When we come back, we'll start talking about the issues.
Pascal is showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that he hired a security guard to protect the data shed. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded to cloud storage yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
Ready for something refreshing and great tasting? For your kids' enjoyment? Angel Cola! For your graduation enjoyment?
Angel Cola!
Beach hangout?
Angel Cola!
For all your refreshing moments?
Angel Cola!
For your parties, get-togethers, events, and celebrations, enjoy a chilled bottle of Angel Cola. Radio Grandma, today is your day. Over to you.
Thank you. Enjoyment Cola.
Angel Cola. The Enjoyment Cola. Enjoy all your moments and fun time with Angel Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh bread.
I'm a fat missy way.
The patch of bantama.
Machasi.
That's a cycle.
It's her smile. The fresh breath.
Me, Judy said we use Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind.
Cal 360 toothpaste.
Yes, Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim jom kasan. Kile kosen. Cal 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
And you will see so feeling when you Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Discover the perfect blend of quality, modern elegance, and affordability with Kingdom Home Real Estate. At Kingdom Home Real Estate, we cater to both local and international clients, offering exceptional housing options in Ebri and Ikropong. Our properties are conveniently located, providing a tranquil atmosphere, top-notch security, and essential amenities such as electricity, water, and backup generators. Our strategic locations offer easy access to popular tourist destinations, all within a 30-minute drive from Accra. Visit us in Ikropong right after the Latte Junction, or in Ebri near the Ebri Girls Senior High School. Alternatively, you can reach us Kingdom Home Real Estate, where your dream home becomes a reality.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful Endpoint one?
Chesena me ankasa me period no say problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na me coin point no mo hwe me mogam no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro me fire no ene ma won kura me enu foforo kwa na me kwan mu a eba and everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko endpoint o mama nuru a ene ne ho ade a watimi asori anante.
That's endpoint for you. Hello. Hey, Oshisho what che? Okay. A free bra with the endpoint what dance. I'm a choir no. Me just say my name koye and person my name nyina and imagine sabema. Na me be fear for there. E ho dey nyina jaresa. You heard everything. I have secret. Endpoint is my secret. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. I'm customer. Nana nada bena mi twa me twa papa. Me twa 10 Ghana. 10 Ghana. 10 Ghana cedis. Na no dia say na obenya. 10 Ghana cedis no. Me dia me di 54,000 Ghana cedis. 54,000. 540 million. Here. We are the one na me twa me di ehun skase. We. And then akika ade tena we. Tena wa boki. Draw no na asase no we. Mami mi volume no. Customer. Ready. One of our daily lucky winners. Dial *946# to play now. Or you can also play online at www.gamepackgames.com. Game Park is regulated by the National Lottery Authority.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for you and cover the makers in Strano.
The pneumatological abrasion of the Lord revealed unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. I'm up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. At the K Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafubuachi Hospital Junction. Takradi. Kuma. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program.
From 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
The same got to move.
of rather regressive and dismissive judicial decisions in respect of cases involving the OSP, with troubling consequences. And it seems to us that a careful examination of these outcomes portends a disturbing specter that the fight against corruption is being hampered to the disbenefit of us all. And I do not say these things lightly. 4 instances will suffice. In one case, the OSP applied to the High Court for a confirmation of a freezing order in respect of a deceased person's estate. The judge refused to confirm the order by, in effect, holding that the OSP had come too late since the person of interest had died, and that his death had extinguished the inquiry commenced after the occurrence of death. We publicly commented on this outcome, and the danger of this outcome is obvious, members of the press. It is to the effect that a person may, in his lifetime, acquire property through corruption, and then upon his demise, happily pass on the corruptly acquired property to his estate, and by so doing, extinguish all scrutiny as to the propriety or otherwise of the acquisition of the property, because his corrupt activities were not discovered during his lifetime. In the second instance, the OSP had declared as wanted a person it believed to be a fugitive from justice. The person, through his lawyer, proceeded to the Human Rights Court on an ex parte application, and the judge, without even an inquiry as to why the OSP believed him to be a fugitive from justice, issued an injunction that the OSP should not arrest the person for a period of 10 days. Members of the press, this is dangerous. It encourages criminal suspects to go before the courts to seek injunction orders against law enforcement agencies from apprehending them. The judge did not advert his mind to the well-founded proposition that no one has the right not to be arrested, and he accorded the suspect a right not to be arrested. In the third instance, the OSP applied to the High Court for a confirmation of a seizure order and a freezing order in respect of a person who had just resigned from a ministerial position and had reported that large cash sums in foreign denominations had been stolen from her residence. In addition, the OSP subsequently discovered additional large cash sums in foreign denominations and cedis still stashed in her residence. The judge hastily dismissed the OSP's application and ordered a return of the seized amounts and the defreezing of her property. And he proceeded to lash out at the OSP for not doing a thorough investigation, without the slightest consideration that the seizure and freezing orders are designed by law to facilitate investigation into the affairs of suspects, and not the other way around, of requiring thorough investigations before the OSP can seize or freeze. The judge also completely ignored the fact that in almost every jurisdiction, including Ghana, it is extremely unusual and highly suspicious for a public officer to have such large cash sums stashed in their homes, and that the circumstances of the case dictated pause and reflection and the granting of the OSP adequate time to carry out its investigation. In our estimation, the judge was only interested in the return of the money to the person of interest and nothing more. Then he proceeded to erect non-existent legal barriers to prevent the OSP from investigating the matter. But there is doom looming ahead of us, that very soon a murderer will boldly walk to court to seek an injunction. Should I feel frustrated and resign? I took an oath when I was sworn in. And in my life, when I take on the reins to do something, I do it to the best of my ability. I ought to. Those who do not understand tree, please forgive me. They say I'm a unquanoma. Me de me cry about for it. Me hear the me to me. I'm reswan. Eko.
Right, you're welcome back. So that's a lot going on in the office of the OSP, but let me just quickly introduce a guest to you. This morning we are with the Member of Parliament for Buim constituency, Kofi Adams. Honourable Member, you're welcome. Good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you.
Thank you for coming. And then also the Honourable Member of Parliament for Sotum constituency.
Anya Sotum.
Anya Sotum. Anya Sotum constituency. Adumako Kisi, Dixon Adumako Kisi. In fact, Dr. Dixon Adumako Kisi. Thank you. I know. You've told me that you have a surgery this morning.
Yes.
How are you managing coming on a show and then going back and conducting a surgery? Or is your job, so you understand?
Well, it's important. Sometimes you have to help some of the people in need. And once the skill is there, it has to be applied. So that's how I'm going to be spending my Farmers' Day.
You're not going into your constituency?
I will. This is, I work in my constituency.
Okay.
So I'll go through the parade grounds. I hope to catch it and then go into theatre to help somebody.
How is farming activities in your constituency?
We have some small pig farms and also people doing cattle, but it's in small scale. Not
like animal?
Major. Yeah. And then we also have some. Interestingly, the MC is pushing heavily on catfish. So that one, small ponds in people's homes. And beyond that, not a whole lot in terms of grains and, things of that nature, like in the eastern region.
Yeah,
so we do small scale things, or agro businesses. So, change of wheat into something, the women who are involved in buying and selling or processing agric produce into something else. Personally, I've taken interest even in doing granite paste. So that's a project I'm looking into, to have a few women support them, to be able to turn granite into paste and then sell for their livelihood.
Where are you going to get the
there are two places. From? I'm a coalman. We have a Bene in coal where they produce a lot of granite, and then also in the northern region. So I'm trying to source depending on the price and then the cost of transport. So this is what I'm looking at in terms of trying to create job opportunities for some women, because I think that we all consume granite. I mean. In Katinkwan is one of my favorites, especially with Amutu. So I think that, and for the life of me, growing up, I remember, going to the market to buy, the granite that is used for the granite soup. And I think this has stayed with us and will stay with us for forever. And if you're looking for an avenue to create business for some women, this is something they can do at ease, and if their own children go hungry, at least they can use the granite with some bread, which is also another powerful delicacy. Granite paste or peanut butter soup, which Americans go with. So this is something personally I'm taking on.
I personally like granite paste bread and chocolate drink.
Fantastic.
Combined.
If you even add
the taste...
honey, then you are in heaven.
There's already sugar in chocolate, some of the chocolate drinks that we have. So yes, I mean.
But honey to the granite paste and bread.
Oh really?
Yes.
The granite paste plus
honey. Yeah.
Okay. Not meal. Then why are you taking in your homes? Kofi Adams, how about you? What's the farming activities like in your constituency?
Well,
in Buim.
Thank you, and good morning to our viewers, and good morning to my colleague, Honorable Dr. Adumako Isi, MP for Anya Sotum. And good morning to you too. My constituency is a farming constituency. Basically, is 100% farming constituency. Everywhere, every community is just farming. So even the civil servants who find themselves there also add farming as something that gives them additional income. So on Saturdays or holidays such as today, they take advantage and do heavy farming. Then maybe when they close from work also, they try to do something. Some even do it into the night. And that is why one was surprised when a whole regional minister was suggesting that it is impossible to farm in the night, in his understanding of the 24-hour economy. Indeed, some cultural practices are best done in the night. Some farming cultural practices, you do them in the night. For example, even transplanting. When you transplant in the night, by the next morning, by the time the sun will rise, some level of adjustment and stability would have taken place. So there are some plans. It's better for you to do transplant in the night. You go to many places where they do not have even enough machinery. You see plowing going on all through. They plow somewhere during the day, they plow other places in the night, and so on and so forth. So it's so surprising that a government appointee at that level will be seeking to suggest that it is impossible to even engage in.
For a moment, in fact, at some point I was defending his comment that, sometimes we should take things lightly. I thought that, it was said on a lighter note. And, this was said in the night. If you watch the first video, it was said in the night at a different place.
He said it, yes.
I saw a different video making me feel foolish for defending him that he was, joking. This was like, going on an education spree and trying to convince people that, we need to have time with our wives at night.
If you listen to him, he said, the vice president, he said he understands the region. And then he says, hey, this your 24-hour economies. So he was giving a report to his people as to the ideas and the views he had heard from the vice president. So you could understand why it is more like marching orders. And don't forget that not too long ago, the vice president was there. So
which region is this?
That's Upper East.
Oh,
the Upper East regional minister. The vice president was in Nalerugu, Walewale area, and virtually all appointees, including MPs, moved with him there. So there is no way the regional minister for Upper East will not be joining such an engagement. And so he was offering a message, the understanding of even Dr. Bawumia about the 24-hour economy. So these just have come in because we were talking about farming and my constituency. But my constituency is 100% farming. That explains why we worry so much when our roads are left in such a terrible state. That explains why I speak.
What produce do you do?
They do cocoa, they do rice, all staples you can find, because we find ourselves in an environment where virtually everything grows well in that area.
Except apples?
Well, maybe except apples. But even the apples, it's possibly just that they haven't tried it.
But do you have cashew?
We have cashew.
Wow.
We do cashew there. We do coffee.
We do cocoa. Do cashew in Boem?
Yes.
So is it
we do mangoes. Yes. Mangoes are grown there. That's something. Virtually everything grows there. Rice. We farm rice. I've mentioned cocoa, cassava, maize, cocoyam. Look, the best ginger in the whole country can be found from that area.
Is that where John Dumelo has his farm?
Yeah, that's where he has his farm. That's the area. So many of these fruits and alcoholic industries and then other cosmetic industries and the rest, they source their ginger from that area.
Okay.
So just Sikam, the Likpe areas, the KJB, that's the Kan areas, if you are looking for the best of ginger, go nowhere. Just head there. So on an occasion like this, we want to use this opportunity to wish the farmers well, not just farmers in Benue, the farmers everywhere. Because what comes to our table is not just coming from our constituency, but it's coming from all over the country. And it's a day that I think is worth celebrating. And I use this opportunity to salute the pioneering leader, His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, may his soul rest in perfect peace, for really initiating this. And I'm not surprised that not too long after he won the Hunger Award for working so hard to eliminate extreme hunger in the country in such a short time, because it was more like the hand on deck type of leadership. Whatever needed to be done in areas that were our food basket, he saw to it. That explains why he insisted power must be extended to Afram Place. People thought it was impossible. He said no. You are hired and paid to find solutions.
Yeah.
Not long after, they came with a solution that it's possible to pass cables
under
the water and send it to that. He says, you cannot be eating food that is produced from these areas and think that we cannot extend this important social intervention to them. That has been made possible. So with appropriate pressure, what people relax over and think that is not doable, you can get them doing it and you get results. So
I just want to I'm not sure how people will consider this question, but the finance minister has or exposed the preparedness of us to sort of establish properly the policy of the night economy. Recently, I actually had an interview with the tourism board, the Ghana Tourism Authority CEO, and he indicated that next week they're bringing a well-structured policy for the night economy. So I was just wondering, when that policy is implemented, what is this minister going to do? What's the night economy about? 24-hour economy includes a night economy in it.
Yes.
So the night economy which this government sought to put out, what is this minister going to do when it starts operational?
Well, if I may add to this discussion, personally, I've commented on many news outlets that I think that NDC has done well in acknowledging that the 1D1F is a foundation for this 24-hour economy thing they're talking about. You cannot have a 24-hour economy if you don't have small enterprises or small manufacturing businesses. So I see this as a stamp on the idea for 1D1F, in the sense that we have Pampers being produced, we have cement factories in this country, we have ceramic tiles, just to name a few. And I'm of the opinion that they've repackaged 1D1F. I'm of the opinion that they've rebranded what we have already in existence. And kudos. I mean, it's nice to repackage and rebrand 1D1F. Now, the 24-hour economy is very important and will be very useful to Ghana, in the sense that, I mean, when you travel out, New York never sleeps. Yeah. London hardly sleeps. And San Francisco, the major cities in the world, they never sleep, in the sense that a lot of services are readily available. And what I mean is that at any point in time, key things that you need to enjoy life would be available. So there are places in Accra that you can get wache at 2 a.m. There are places in Accra that you can get a lot of things that you need, except that, unfortunately, this discussion makes more people aware of the need to extend business hours.
Yeah.
So I'm anticipating that one of the key things which comes out of this is night security, because personally I know of mobile money vendors who close early because they think that once the dark settles, they can operate. There are petrol stations who still close early because of security. And I think there was a point in time where by 6-7 p.m. most petrol stations were closing because of the attacks that people were waging on the vendors at the petrol station. So this is a revisitation of how we extend our hours of operation, and I think that in the tourism industry, and rightly so, what this means is that maybe the likes of Kakum Park, obviously they won't be running 1 a.m., 2 a.m. shifts, but I'm anticipating that Kakum Park will not close at 6, but rather may extend to 10.
Into the night a bit.
Yes, and then Kwame Nkrumah's Mausoleum, if it's 6 o'clock they are closing, it will be extended to 10 p.m., things of that sort. And then the likes of Ibri.
So if you take, for example, the forest reserves, we can establish a system where we're providing adequate security for them, where we are ensuring that we are protecting or we are guarding their risks that they will take. Should they be working the night, for example, 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 12 midnight? Can you imagine being in a forest reserve at 12 midnight just to see how forest activities? That would be dangerous.
Yeah. And mind you,
it will be. I mean, there are foreigners who
would
take
love,
such risk, who love to be in the forest at night.
Yes, absolutely.
And see, yes.
And I really think that this discussion is even good because Ghanaians by nature, unfortunately, sleep too early. I mean, if you compare with the rest of the world, and I'm just besides going to all night services, a lot of Ghanaians typically sleep early. But I think that this is an awakening, and the dialogue is good in the sense that people now will be maybe more open to doing business beyond the current hours of doing business. And for the life of me, I remember I could bank around 7:30 in Connecticut, because the banking hours were long.
Okay.
And it was good because many of us corporate people will close at 5. And when you close and you can't do banking, it's bad. So this, by nature, will get even some corporate entities to start rethinking, and even, who knows, extend hours into Sunday. So I could bank in Connecticut on Sundays, bank on Saturdays, and sometimes I weep because we say there are no jobs in this country, but then again we are the same people shooting ourselves in the foot, in the sense that
yesterday Sami Jeffy said something which hit me. He said, God is giving us 24 hours.
Okay.
But we're taking only 8 hours to work, which smacks of laziness. But we can make good use of the 24 hours. So for the banking sector you're mentioning, for example, if we have to extend hours, we don't have one person working the whole time.
Exactly.
It gives opportunity for other people to also come and work other hours.
So if banks should do 2 shifts, I think they can then extend, because there's always about 2 hours after banking to do reconciliation. So that is why sometimes they close early as 4. And there's even something sickening in Ghana. The bank officially closes at 5, but you can enter banking halls at 4. So I think this dialogue is good, and to a large extent will, 1, increase productivity in this country, and 2, make things more accessible. And then I think that the lines and queues might also change, because the attitude of some officers in government, where sometimes by 2 p.m. everybody is descaling, so that that when you get there, and I know that this is a very controversial thing, that the NDC literally has been smart to see that the 1D1F is a very solid foundation to do what they are claiming to want to do, and they cannot dispute the fact that the concept of manufacturing, which the Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo has been pushing hard, lays a very strong foundation for this concept.
24 hours.
Yes, I mean, if there's no industry, can you do 24 hours? There has to be an industry first. And I also think that Ghana, clearly, the MPP is saying industrialization is important. NDC is also saying industrialization is important. So if I'm a Ghanaian first, in terms of my thinking, I'm happy that the two political parties in this country are focused on industry. And industry is what is going to get us out of our current quagmire and put us up and help us in terms of our economic growth and sustaining the economic growth over and over and over. So I mean, kudos to the NDC one for rebranding, repackaging 1D1F. I mean, I think they've...
Was 1D1F rebranded and repackaged?
I mean, the 24-hour economy, literally, for me, is a rebranding.
I'm saying that the 1D1F, was it a rebranded policy?
Well, if you look at where Kwame Nkrumah took us, I think that we revisited. It's more of a Sankofa, approach. And I've always said that, as much as men grow, we tend to do something that has always been in existence. We never really discover. We only identify old and, I mean, and Kofi and I know, for the life of me, I was actually, it's interesting that he spoke about Rollins. If you look at some of the outfits that Jerry John Rollins was using in the 60s, 70s, and then if you go back to Kwame Nkrumah's outfit, literally, we're all now literally wearing those same things, and especially what you have on. I think I've seen, Jerry in one of those. If you go back, political suits, that's what they were calling it, right? Yeah. Yes. So a lot hasn't really changed.
I thought it was just a shirt.
No, that's what we were calling political suit. And also thanks to, MPP for making African wear fashionable. And that one we know. The Friday wear was an MPP initiative. And I think that it should now be extended to even, all week African wear. So this is I see this as a smart move by the NDC to expand, enhance what the MPP has been talking about, and they have to, and I'll plead with Kofi to do the MPP the honors of admitting that, listen, you can't have a 24-hour economy without some existing 169 manufacturing entities. And I think that whether they like it or not, they can never run away from the fact that these established entities will be some of the base on which, if, and let me choose my words carefully, if they should come 2024 in terms of the election. So it is a plus. And what I also think that the tourism industry, not the night workers. When we say night workers, we know if the night workers work 24 hours, then we will have problems in this country. But
the night economy.
The night economy, where I can have some ball of kenke at 2 a.m. or light meal. But interestingly, Kofi, some people have fufu for breakfast.
I can do that.
And that for the life of me, that is heavy for breakfast. But then, I looking at your pretty self and your nice physique, I think if you do that, why not? But some of us can't. If we do that, we'll put on too much. Yeah. So clearly, if I can go to the sawmill at 2 a.m., some do, but it will help. And it will also cut down on, like I said, a lot of queuing in this country. And let me also add that passport services have back-end people who work already late in the night, DVLA as well. But I think that if this is made more firm, if you firm up, working extra hours, then deliverables that were 2 weeks can now be like 1 week, and to make this succeed, Ghana has to beef up security, and then I think our Vice President's agenda for digitalization literally will make the 24-hour economy more solid. So if you look at industrialization, digitalization, literally those two storms combined gives you. So
you don't see it necessarily a new policy. It's just firming up.
They are firming up what we're doing.
The base.
And I think John Mahama, former president, is a very powerful marketer. We know that, and communicator. And I'll give it to him that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has found a very interesting way of rebranding what is in the system. And it's ingenious. It's like the Chinese way. You copy, but you copy in a different way. And this, if he was a student and he was copying, he won't copy the name of the student he's copying from. And that is what he has done here. He's repackaged very, smartly what we are doing, and we are on that path already. I mean, if you look at the things that Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo's administration has put in place, and even with the new agric ministers 2.0, or I think they've named it, planting for foods and job. There's a lot of room for technology, and I think not too long ago.
Are you giving tax incentives for local businesses?
Yes, and not too long ago, when the Cocoa Board said that they need light for farmers, people didn't understand. People were arguing, why do you need more light for farmers? Clearly, farming begins very early or goes late into the night. So if Cocoa Board wants to give light source to farmers, then it means that Cocoa Board is looking at enhancing cocoa production in this country by empowering the farmers to go early or to leave late in the night. And when they are working late in the night, it is these torch lights that will help them brighten their corner and see the work they're doing. So it appears that the NPP administration has been literally doing and helping extend hours for farmers, and clearly John Dramani Mahama and the NDC, I think, have been very smart in rebranding
and just putting a name on what you have already been doing.
I would say that more on my idea, in the sense that they've repackaged 1D, 1F, and it's I would say an enhanced version of 1D, 1F, and that one Kofi would have to agree to that today, Kofi, before we leave the set.
You copied from a student without writing the student's name.
Well, Annie, let me say that it's good that we're beginning to have some members of New Patriotic Party shift from the position of some of their key leaders as far as the 24-hour economy is concerned, and now begin to admit that it's a great idea, it's a good thing, it's a great policy that will help this country. And that we are now shifting away from the position that was taken by some that, it is a bad idea, they didn't think through it well, then move on to suggest that, chop bars are running, and others will go on and say, no, when we go to our farms and we come back, we must have time to sleep with our wives, and so on and so forth. We are beginning now to move away from there and to admit that this is the way to go. You see, the 1D, 1F, as he suggested, was a good thought, but that was never implemented.
169 factories.
That was never implemented. So till today, when you ask them, this one will mention this number, another one will tell you, oh, only 58. Another one will tell you 169. Another one will tell you
the 169 has been consistent.
No, 169 has never been consistent. So clearly, long before they thought of this idea, there were industries, like you rightly asked. So many industries, even some of them government directly building them, some with partnership. So for every idea that will come up, for every project, there will surely would have been one way of doing it or the other existing, but you want to work to improve it. This is the first time a political party and a candidate is thinking about a 24-hour economy. We are not talking about extending hours of work by some few persons that, oh, they will extend, they will do. No, that's not what we are talking about. We are talking about a serious 24-hour economy that could allow for 3 shifts at most, or in some cases, maybe 2. That is what we are talking about. Clear, deliberate policy of government supporting to push an agenda to allow this to happen. Look, you know that before someone engineered an idea to have workers for babies, babies born naturally will walk at a certain age.
Yeah.
But someone realized that if we did something, we could aid these babies to walk even what? Faster.
So the babies are 1D1F.
Oh, I'm coming.
So the babies are 1D1F.
To deliberately to aid these babies to walk faster and therefore perform much more and bring about productivity. That is what the John Dramani Mahama and his administration will be doing when it comes to the economy, that we want to run a 24-hour economy. You equally also know that biodegradable material will naturally decompose on its own after some time. But you can intentionally and deliberately collect it and put it in a pit in order to engage in what we call composting, and you'll be able to generate a lot more and utilize it later. The John Dramani Mahama administration is saying that as far as our economy is concerned, we want to run a deliberate policy that will help all these so-called industries that you claim some of them already exist.
169.
As for the 169, you know that that figure has always been a fraudulent figure that you put out there. Not you, but the fraudulent figure that the government has placed out there. That was why when we asked the trade minister, the former, to come to Parliament on the floor, you have been there. We have asked him many questions to tell us those factories where they are. He has never been able to answer. Beyond standing outside and mentioning numbers, he was unable to answer on the floor of the House. So we've been very consistent because he knew that when he comes to Parliament, it's a house of records, and we will follow through to be able to deal with that. Yesterday, I heard another person also say, that's Dr. Okoboy, that there are already online services, and that he was looking for something and he ordered, and by the next morning it is ready on its way to be delivered. It was on its way to be delivered because that company that he needed something from, they are running a 24-hour economy, producing. All other sectors are. The online services is just a component of that. The online alone will not produce the material you are looking for. Some other departments must be functioning 24/7, so that when you call, when you ask for, you go online and request for a service, whether it is a robot that answers you, whether it is a human being that answers you, production must be going on so that whatever a robot answers you could be processed, packaged, and sent to you. So you need the 24-hour economy to be able to have an effective online system work. And I agree with Doc when he says that you need, some says, oh, you can do online banking. But he's telling them that you need sometimes physical presence in a bank to be able to what? Transact business. Online is not enough. That is not what John Dramani Mahama is talking about. He's talking about a serious, deliberate, well-packaged support system that will allow for this economy to run 24 hours. How is he going to do it? He says, per study and indications, we already have some industries whose cost of production is so high because there's no deliberate policy to support them. And some of these deliberate policies he's talking about already exist as a huge cost against government, like power. Because during off-peak, when we go to sleep from maybe 10 p.m. all the way till 6 a.m., we are not utilizing enough of the power that has already been generated, but we are going to pay for anyway. John Dramani Mahama is saying that no, this should not go waste. As a smart leader, we can utilize this and support industry. That this power you will be using, instead of maybe if you're going to pay 10 cedi per kilowatt hour, we're cutting it down for you maybe to say 5 or even 2 cedi. So use it. Because it's going waste. It's going waste, but you are paying for. That power is being wasted, but you are paying for. So it's a cost to government. The government is getting nothing out of it. So we are going to give it to you with an introduction of time of use meters. So we will know that for this power, you used it from this time to this time. What will happen therefore is that your total cost of production in relation to power will be reduced. That will make you very competitive with industries that are functioning in areas where power is cheaper.
Why will it reduce? Will we give it to them for free?
We are not going to give it to them for free.
Yes.
For example, if you run a 3-shift system, and maybe one shift you are paying 10 cedi, another shift you are paying maybe 10 cedi, and maybe a third shift now goes to what? 2 cedi. That third shift will equally give you the same quantity of products as maybe the first and the second is going to give you. Okay. When you add all and you strike an average, the cost in terms of energy component will be less, because it should have been 10, 10, 10, which would have been 30. But now maybe, just for the purpose 10, of 10, example, 10, 10, 2. So when you divide 22 by 3, the average comes down as against dividing 30 by what? 3. You will get a higher. So cost in terms of power will come down. John Dramani Mahama is saying deliberately there would equally also be other services that will make the running of the 24-hour economy easier for them, i.e. security that he talked about. And security will necessarily deploy based on what? Risk. So they will deploy to support them. There will be transport services to support persons who will sign up. There will be other incentives, tax incentives, not waivers, not exemptions. When we say tax incentives, it's different from what is being done under 1D, 1F, where they are just waivering, exempting, and we are not seeing effect on the ground. You would observe that industry, the budget, you can read it. Industry grew negative. It is contracting, minus 2.2. So despite all the claim of 1D, 1F, your industry is not growing. Manufacturing is negative. So it should tell you that your 1D, 1F is not working. Your so-called 169 industries that you claim have come on board should have lifted the country from the growth level we were experiencing to higher growth. But in your case, as you claim to be introducing more industries in the name of 1D, 1F, industry is contracting. Industry is contracting. It should tell you that something is wrong with your so-called industry. You have just gone to repaint existing industries, name them as 1D, 1F. Some of them are collapsing under high taxes. Some of them are collapsing under poor management of the economy as a result of high levels of what? Inflation, the exchange rate situations, the cedi depreciating abnormally, and so on and so forth. So all these have gone to affect industry. John Dramani Mahama is saying that no, we will deliberately put incentives in place that will allow them to be able to work in such a way that they will become what? Competitive. He is also saying, we established the Exim Bank for export and import support system. What they have done is, instead of giving these monies to industries to be able to grow, to support those that need really, they are giving it to their political persons. As we were told that Chairman Wuntumi and Co. and some other persons who are involved in unproductive sectors are the ones who are benefiting from the Exim facility that was established by John Dramani Mahama. He says, no, we established that for a purpose. We established it to be able to support industry so that Ghana can be able to increase what we produce and export and reduce what we import. That's why we call it Exim. Not to give it to political regional chairmen and what have you to go and waste it in areas that are what? Unproductive. So clearly, they must have an understanding as to what John Dramani Mahama is talking about. It is nothing to do with your fail 1D, 1F. It is more about driving this economy. It's about
Would you accept that it's springboarding off 1D, 1F?
Well,
or you still want to accept?
If you look at what has happened in the past before you came in, and for example, you know, we all have just either have tasted sugar this morning or maybe tasting sugar before the close of day. We do not have a single sugar processing factory functioning in this country. The previous administration worked at getting commander.
So the commander, what
is not functioning.
But he
all the promises.
He gave an assurance that it was
I'm saying that April it was nothing has happened. Nothing. They just left it there to deteriorate. You see, even the funds to support the outgrowers to be able to produce and supply the raw sugar cane for the factory to function, they could not even utilize it. The seedlings that have been generated to be supplied to these outgrowers was left there to grow, and they have to harvest and sold to apprenticeship drillers. That's what happened under this government. Sugar cane. They sold it to apprenticeship people.
Okay, the two of you are on Public Accounts Committee. I know you have a backlog, but answer this.
Unfortunately for public accounts, we only deal with matters that the Auditor General has looked into and has submitted its report. The public account is, but other committees like Trade, Industry and Tourism Committee is the committee of interest when it comes to industries like such as Commander Sugar Factory that has not functioned. They have the oversight responsibility. They can move to the field to deal with such issues. That explains why Yusuf Suleiman, who is a deputy ranking for Trade and then Industry, and Honorable Ama Kufibua have shown a lot of interest in such areas. And now Yusuf will soon.
That's why you have the health committee also.
The health committee also moving to the various health. But what we do as public account is, after the Auditor General has audited maybe health institutions and have found some adverse findings and made recommendations which he submits to Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker now refers it to the Public Accounts Committee for us to look into.
But on the sidelines, Public Accounts Committee members, don't you maybe have communications with the direct committees that are in charge of these?
We do sometimes.
And then ask questions, what's happening here?
Sometimes when the Auditor General raised, for example, when the Auditor General raised the issue of this SkyTrain money that was spent without any SkyTrain, when I saw it, I called our ranking for Transport Rules and Transport Committee, Honorable Kwame Abuja, who is now our Chief Whip, to ask information on this. So he briefed me everything about that, and also gave indication that he will be coming to the committee the day we will have a hearing on that. So that day he came. Every member of parliament is entitled to attend to any of the committee's meetings. That's what we call them friends. And when you do come, you can be given the opportunity to ask a question, especially when you are a leader. The chair of the committee would give you some opportunity to ask. So we raised it, and we realized that this government just wasted a fund that we established ostensibly to serve as a buffer, to be able to push Ghana's industrialization agenda, to be able to help us to serve as a counterpart funding for various projects, was being wasted by this government. They just pick up money, give to institutions that have no license, that have not exhibited any clear indication that they have the capacity to even get involved on ground real, let alone talk about sky train, when the ministry itself knew nothing about. That is how this government have wasted our money. That is why John Dramani Mahama says that he knows how to mobilize and use it in right places. Look, many of the areas they have mentioned as functioning into the night or running a 24 system, like the Tema ports. The MPS terminal, which is Terminal 3, is the only terminal that runs 24 hours at Tema Port. The remaining part that is controlled by Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority itself, they close by 5 p.m. They have closed. But even the Terminal 3 that runs 24 hours, sometimes their running is impacted because they need customs and other agencies to run along with them. So what John Dramani Mahama is saying is that I will not just say because the private sector is already doing it, we will do nothing. Deliberately, we will make sure that if you have to run 24 hours, other supporting departments and agencies will function to be able to make your 24-hour work so well. For example, I saw a write-up from one gentleman who was talking about ministries, departments, and all the Kominini will close at 5 p.m. as they have always done. If we are going to do 24-hour construction, and maybe the consultant or the supervisor who is supervising any of the projects happens to be maybe sometimes the department, the public department itself may be the consultant. Sometimes a private person is taken as a consultant. There will be deliberate policy to make sure that if your presence is needed to make sure a construction firm works 24/7, you are available so that you don't impact their work. And you know what that is going to happen? If you take a place like Western Region, those times, contractors use not to take up projects in that area. You know why? Because they have a very limited dry period. Mostly they are experiencing rains.
Yeah.
So they have a short time within which you can do proper construction. So the John Dramani Mahama agenda of 24-hour construction, for example, if a contractor gets a project and you can run 24 hours in 3 shifts, it means that even day and night you are working. So even if the period you have is just 2 or 3 months of dry season, you can complete a measurable mileage of what? Of the road before the rain sets in to destroy everything that you have done. So look, this is a game changer. When the TUC said it's a game changer, they understood what they were referring to. When Dr. Kwachi of IEA says this is very possible, and if you don't understand, ask for explanation, he knew what he's talking about. Those who are kicking against either are doing so because they think that it's been raised by John Dramani Mahama and not them. But this is truly the game changer. And I tell you, it is going to change. One other thing it's going to do, it's also about efficiency. And Doc knows, and we all here know, that if you know, do you know why people don't want to go on leave sometimes? Because they know when they leave and another person comes to take over, certain things will be what? Exposed. Some inefficiencies, some things that they were putting under the carpet will necessarily be exposed. But you know what the 24-hour economy is going to do? It's more like every day you are on leave. Because you have to leave your desk for another person to come and take over. So every day you are handing over. So indirectly, you would have to perform to the level that is expected of you before you hand over.
So does that actually answer or solve the problem of inefficiencies today?
And I'm saying that, yes,
8 hours, we have so much inefficiency in the
so
system.
it is going to solve the inefficiencies and even add more. So when we become even more efficient, we will be able to even raise much more revenue and to be able to pay people even more. So the unemployment situation that is worsening, that has moved from 8.4% to 14% now under this administration, we will work at scaling it down to even below the 8.4% that it was in 2016. So this thing that we are talking about is a serious game changer. In UK, where we all used to run to, those times we were in the university, during the long breaks, we ran to go and do some night jobs here and there because they run their 24-hour system. They even today are initiating a serious discussion again about upscaling
of the
24-hour economy. Many other countries are doing so. But when we sit here, people feel like, oh, we are comfortable. Oh, we don't need to do anything. No, we don't think that way. The last time, Parliament, when I raised concerns about whether it was not possible for us to have our post-budget workshop in Parliament and in Accra, people said, oh, we did it in the past and it was a failure. And so they have remained in that failure, that past. When we tried it this time around, we had one of the most successful post-budget workshops. The attendance was higher than even when we travel out. Because when we traveled out, sometimes some people don't even come for the opening ceremony. Some come and then the next day they don't even appear early. You only see them again when you are exiting. But this time, all of us were present at the various activities and stayed true. So we have succeeded and with less, and can push these funds that we saved into other areas. John Dramani Mahama is saying that 24-hour economy, deliberate policy to get this going will happen. Students may not need to travel, buy tickets on credit to go to UK and US to go and work during the long vac and come back to make some money to be able to come and pay for their fees. They will be in Ghana here and they will get jobs to do because there will be such opportunities. Sanitation. Sanitation is also another area that why should sanitation institutions go to sleep when everybody is also gone to sleep? It should be possible for them to work even more.
Better.
So by the time you wake up, your maculas, your streets, your everything has been worked on. So it is left with a few other areas that can be worked on also during the daytime. So there is going to be 24-hour agro-processing. There is going to be 24-hour pharmaceutical industry. There is going to be 24-hour manufacturing.
Do you realize the pressure it is likely to put on you should you win election 2024? Because we know our wage bill today and the challenge it gives us.
Annie,
you know the pressure it's likely to put on you.
Is considered high because productivity is also low. The 24-hour economy, by its proper structuring, is going to increase productivity. So currently, as we speak,
industrialization.
Of course, currently as we speak, and look, do you know that?
And industrialization.
90% or more, right? Doc, yes, I agree with you. 90% or more of the things we consume in this country are all imported. So the only person we are helping to be richer is the importation and possibly just the limited marketing. But through these processes, we could upscale and increase the production of what we consume. Can you imagine that we are able to even meet 50% of our needs? That will mean that manufacturing is going to go up. So more jobs will be created. And when more jobs are created, and those who are employed, they will also spend. It is when I'm employed.
So are we looking at that before we consider the 2022 items that we're looking at, banning its importation?
No, you see, you don't just ban you don't just restrict importation without a deliberate policy of replacement. What they are seeking to do, they are not even banning. They say they want the minister now to be in charge of licensing people. So it's going to create chronism, possibly short supply, high cost, because
this is a whole different topic.
If you persons are identified, and maybe myself and Dr. Kisi are the only ones licensed to bring, we can easily meet and strike a deal. Charlie, let's work out something and reduce the quantity that we are bringing in. And once supply is less than demand, the prices will shoot up, and we will make a kill. This is what that's not what we are talking about. We are talking about a deliberate policy to produce and make it available even in a cheaper way. Look, food can be made very cheap. I think that nobody should go to sleep on an empty stomach in Ghana, considering what we have around us. And it's possible. It's just deliberately understanding and investing in the right places. Listen.
Kofi Adam says
we don't think. Well, I don't think that.
Hello.
I don't think that we should do the planting for food and job in the manner that
Kofi Adam says it is
where
possible.
We pick and then we are spreading tea. It should be possible as a country to identify that. Look, poultry.
Kofi, you said it is possible.
We want to invest heavily in poultry in these 2-3 regions.
It is possible.
But we will make sure that we will create a distribution chain such that if Oti region is not getting heavy investment in the poultry industry, we will also have chicken, poultry products, eggs, and what have you at the price that the region that is having that investment is also having it for. We don't need to be spreading and say, oh, we want to give Dr. Kisi 5 cockerels. Yeah. We want to give Annie some 3 cockerels. We want to give this one. No, that is not how we are going to project. And that is not what John Dramani Mahama is looking at.
1D, 1F.
We're going to do it. The 24-hour economy is the game changer. It is what is going to move this country, reduce unemployment drastically, and you and I will feel so safe. You will no longer be afraid. You will no longer be afraid. You automatically, after a certain time of deliberate implementation of this policy, many things that need some support will no longer need the support. And he knows, he's a medical person. He knows.
I'm a judge.
I'm
a judge, and I think that all of this. This is like NDC preaching industrialization. You've preached industrialization today. And I'm happy that the NDC.
What is industrialization?
The NDC has now bought into 1D, 1F. This is fantastic.
The truth is that
we have done well.
You see, the truth
we
is
have
that
done well.
My goodness, I am happy. I am happy.
You are talking like MPP.
I am happy.
This is MPP.
Doctor.
Yes.
Is talking about industrialization. Industrialization, which
you
his flag bearer. Listen, his flag bearer. His flag bearer, who was the chairman of the economic management team, has run away from talking the economy, talking industrialization, and moving to an area that has been comfortably created and established and trying to take credit. That is what Dr. Baumia is good at. Now he says he's no longer talking economy, he's talking digitalization.
But it's
the digital economy is economy.
My last point. My last point. I want to tell you why Dr. Baumia. The word that came into my head, I don't want to use it. I can't say it's conman. Conman is not. It's too strong. So I will look for the appropriate word. You know what? After 100 days in office, Dr. Baumia came and addressed the press and took credit for every positive economic indicators that we had chalked as at March, by which time their budget, they have not even presented their first budget has not even been approved by Parliament. Dr. Baumia organized a press conference and took credit for everything that was happening and claimed that they have worked and the city is appreciating and they have locked it up and they've locked the dollar up and given the key to IGP Apietu. He didn't credit the previous administration for all the things that they did. That time he was the economic messiah. Now that he has messed up the economy and the city has badly depreciated, has moved from 3.9, 4.2 to now 12.2 and above. The debt levels have gone so high. inflation is around 54%, food inflation about 103%, and so many other things, deficit so high. Dr. Bawumia is running to go and be taking credit for digitalization, which he played no role for, claiming that online, even including online passport application.
I'm surprised.
Which is something
you are moving away.
That Hannah Thete, as foreign affairs minister, launched and gave indication that we were even moving to the regional levels, that every region will have a passport operation offices. Then again, if you look, the heaviest investment in digitalization was done by John Dramani Mahama. The fiber optics. He knows the use of fiber optics in digitalization. The longest investment was done by the NDC. The data processing center, which is not too far from his constituency at the SEC, was done by John Dramani Mahama.
Right.
What have they even Ghana Card? Even Ghana Card, which act was passed under President Kufuor in 2006, and we came and passed the LI in 2012 for its implementation. And at the time we left office, 4.5 million Ghanaians have been registered. Dr. Bawumia claims that he is the one who brought Ghana Card. How? Even interoperability that we have already done, that they themselves even claim, according to them, the only thing they said.
Spoken enough.
My last point. Interoperability. The only thing he claimed was that we were offering it for a higher cost than they have offered it. Meaning somebody has done everything and had even reached the contractual stage.
Okay.
But you know, in terms of IT may cost you more today and cost you less tomorrow. And the time some of us started using this Vodafone, it was then called it has no One Touch. Is it One Touch? Yeah, One Touch. It started as One Touch. That time, the SIM card. It was so expensive.
Yes. I remember.
Today,
1 million.
they will even add some data, add some credit, and ask you to come and take it. Some are even adding phones on top. So if someone bought a SIM card then at an expensive rate, it doesn't mean that today if you are getting it for free with some data, that person did some wrong. IT solutions sometimes becomes cheaper as the years goes on, as technology improves. So if you got interoperability for less than another person did, it doesn't mean that you did it.
Your point is
right.
That Bawumia is just taking credit for where successes have already existed.
Why should
and claiming ownership.
Why should he not?
No.
Okay,
so he has no ideas of his own.
So just a moment. So imagine getting rewarded for doing something you already do every day. It sounds too good to be true. So MTN says that exactly what Momo season is all about, and what you do with your Momo is that there's something for everyone. Download the Momo app Play Store or on App Store, and then use the Momo for your day-to-day transactions to the merchant, either through the QR code or merchant ID, and stand the chance of winning 1,000 Ghana cedis weekly and other amazing prizes. So our merchants are also not left out. It says that receive the payments and win. Keep using your Momo on app and get rewarded. There are lots of exciting prizes for everyone. So what are you doing today? You want to, transact more, Momo Pay, and more points. Visit the website. Is www.momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh for your Momo or your business account today. It's Momo season, and it says Momo with the Momo Pay. But take note that the guys who run the Momo businesses, they're actually coming down with the limits of withdrawals. They say they are limiting. They are now cutting it down. I think it was at 2,000. They are now cutting it down to 1,000 cedis.
In order to make more profit.
Yes, so just in case you go to the point today, they've raised quite a number of reasons. Just in case you go to the point today to cash and you're getting just 1,000. That's for your information. Should you have not heard, just in case you haven't heard the news. So Kel Kate also says that brushing your teeth. Your kids' teeth sometimes becomes very difficult, and Kel Kate toothpaste comes with a flavored strawberry that gives a perfect taste for the children, so it makes it easy for them to want to brush themselves, and it also prevents cavities and protects the gums of your children, gives them strong and healthy freshness all day. And Kel Kate toothpaste is recommended for children between the ages of 2 and 6 years. It's approved by Samara Company Limited, and also approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Curl Kits, Happy Smile. Now, Lift and Elevators also says that enjoying the fruit of your labor is also important as you enjoy the labor of your mansion. So just in case you are finding it difficult climbing at the stairs and all that, they have the lift and elevators available to be fitted in your homes. Should you want it, it will be available in 3 days. They can, fit it for you. It will carry your goods as well, just in case you want that. So it gives a space where it can carry goods and goods for you. And you want to visit them, Lift and Elevators at Sakumono, or just call them on 0200-535-515, or send them an email on elevators@gmail.com for your consultations. And also, Amin Alternative Medical Hospital is also making itself available to you. Today is Friday, they'll be working today. Saturdays they'll work and Sundays they'll work. And from Monday to Saturday they work from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays they work at 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and that's for your Amin Alternative Medical Hospital. Call them on 0207-229505 or 0244-227-192. Now, the Christmas season is on, so most of you who want some gadgets in your homes, the Makers Electronics is giving you an offer of 67% discounts, right? 67% discount on selected appliances ranging from Samsung, LG, Moved, NASCO, TCL, Media, and Toshiba. It says that with the numerous awards, including Outstanding Customer Service Company of the Year, of course, and also an Responsible Electronics Company of the Year, Makers Electronics have quality but affordable home appliances and consumer electronics with 2 years manufacturing defect warranty. Some of you need that. You have kids at home and all kinds of activities goes on in the house. You have 2 years of defect warranty. So defect doesn't mean that if your child goes to smash the TV, you take it back for change, please. So visit their showrooms. It's at Taifa, Burkina Highway, Amasamang, Zongo Junction, or Yarifa, Teman, Boga Junction, Kaswa, New Market, Ashaman Valco Flat, Kumase, Ahinema Kokobing, and also Takradi, if you're Kumanamo 9 Market. Call them on 055-2222-253 or 055-2222-254. Makers Electronics is large and in charge. Doc, you wanted to say something? I want to go for a breather. I want us to go into Parliament.
Yeah, so should I say?
Yes, say. You say it.
Well, I was only going to point out one key thing, that the world lost one valiant, giant person in terms of international relations, and that is Henry Kissinger. Very powerful. And in fact, he is relevant more so now because of the Israel-Hamas issues happening. And I think that we need to remember Henry Kissinger as a nation. In terms of his contribution to international relations. You cannot, in any part of the world, study foreign relations and not come across the work he did for America in Vietnam, the work he did in terms of Palestine and Israel relations, the work he did, for American diplomacy. And I think that he's a stalwart that needs to, looked at, and I think he lived up to 100, and that is remarkable. And
but what role did he play in the Israel-Hamas war?
Well, he migrated to America after surviving this Holocaust issue, and apparently went to Harvard, performed very well, and has been in the ambassadorial line of duty for a long time. And because of his, heritage as an Israeli, he brought prominence to America's strengthened relation with Israel. And as you know, some of those ideologies still hold, and that is why America is so attached to Israel. And I think that he literally was an embodiment of American policy with Israel, and was a key role, more so than even Netanyahu. And if we should talk about his contribution to America's relationship with Israel, my goodness, this man cannot be forgotten.
Where do you stand on this war?
I'm with WHO in terms of the human casualties. And I think that whether you are with Hamas or Israel, no child, no female, no man should die for these reasons. And I must say that I'm so happy about the negotiations that have resulted in the release of hostages. I'm also happy about the standoff. I mean, anytime there's a stoppage in the process of war, it brings relief to all of us, and it helps them temper down and stop the further killings. And I'm hoping that this ceasefire can be extended for much longer so that many more lives can be saved. So I'm with WHO, and I'm looking at it from the medical standpoint, that people should not be maimed, people should not be killed for decisions that they are so far removed from. Sometimes you almost feel like the people agreeing to fight should rather be put in a room for them to fight, and then, so that we leave the civilians out of this. But I must say that I've brought Henry Kissinger's name up today because any student of international relationship cannot forget Henry Kissinger. I grew up knowing Madeleine Albright, and then, Condoleezza Rice. But this is the father of all fathers in terms of that job. And they are, let me say, students of Henry Kissinger. And he's contributed to Nixon's administration. He is a powerful figure in American history, especially in the last 100 years. So Ghanaians should know that. And then we'll come back to 24-hour economy after we,
So the 24 hours, someone says that, Robert, he says that the 24-hour economy, I always ask why is it that they put floodlights on AstroTurf parks? Is it to increase playtime? In so doing, others who don't get access to the parks at night also play. So the lights are the incentives GM is talking about. So more people can play. Don't mention, okay.
In fact, to summarize what this person is saying, I think that the GFA and the sports ministry are already putting in place a 24-hour sports facility. So, in line with the African Games coming up, all of these stadiums enhancement have light facility to operate at night for night games. So literally, it's a repackaged enhancement of what is existing and what is being worked on. So, I mean, Kofi, you guys have done well.
I have a release from one of my colleagues in Parliament, Simon. Simon sent this to me. He says that it's a release, a statement from the office of the Upper East Regional Coordinating Council, celebration of the 39th edition of the National Farmers' Day Upper East Region celebration. And it says that a planning committee meeting, I think, has been postponed. It says that the Upper East Farmers' Day postponed to next Friday, 8th, due to financial challenges. Let me read a statement in full. It says a planning committee meeting for the 39th edition of the National Farmers' Day held on Friday, 24th of November 2023, and chaired by the Honorable Regional Minister. The committee arrived at the following: 1, that in view of the current financial challenges, there is the need to centralize the celebration at one location. 2, that the districts need some time to reorganize themselves for the celebration, since it was an innovation. In view of that, it has been decided to reschedule the celebration from Friday 1st December to Friday 8th December 2023. Consequently, it has also been decided that the celebration will be marked at the Jubilee Park, Bolgatanga, where all the districts will converge with the awards and awardees. In view of this, MDAs are hereby requested to furnish the Regional Planning Committee with the number of persons who will be participating at the regional level of the for budgeting purposes. We shall be grateful if these numbers could reach the RCC by close of day Monday 27th of November 2023. Thank you, signed by Alhaji Bukari Inusa, Chief Director, RCD. So that's the release I just received, and I'm sure the news will check on that.
This is, if it's true, I pray that this is not an April Fool prank.
We're not in April.
Because seriously, where have we taken off the thinking heads of this government that the Farmers' Day, we all know that is the first Friday of every December? Did their financial situation, look, just got bad yesterday? Didn't you know all this while that you didn't have the capacity to organize it, even at the district level, so you could put system in place to have it centralized? Did you have to wait till just yesterday or this morning when it is the day to take that decision? And you are even asking them to now send you numbers that will be coming by Monday for budgeting purposes. So you haven't even received the numbers to be able to budget and raise that money for the date you have fixed for next week Friday. What's happening? What's really happening in this country?
I've just forwarded it to my news team to authenticate.
I seriously.
I'll wait for authentication.
I'm not surprised that this may be happening in a regional minister who says 24-hour economy.
I even thought they were going to do the Farmers' Day at night. I mean,
that was the regional minister, right?
So that was what I was waiting for until we all received the shelter in the line.
But we'll wait for
But it's on the letterhead. I think maybe I'll send it to my team to put.
Well, these days all kinds of letterheads get designed.
Yeah.
If this really happened, then
we'll wait for authentication.
Government has truly come to. This will be another low. This will be another serious.
Let's wait for authentication.
Yeah. Okay. Ambassador Sampiale says that Annie just asked Dr. Adumako Kisi, after investing the 600 million Ghana cedis on planting for food and agri, we ended up with 54% food inflation and 13%. Oh, you didn't complete that. Okay. And then this says that how come government released JHS results last week followed by schools placement on Tuesday and is asking students to go to school in 6 days after placement? I wonder whether parents and school authorities are ready. Well, yesterday I heard the Speaker of Parliament raise an issue on the floor. No, I think Okujeto raised a statement.
No, the statement was read by Honorable Nochu, the ranking for education. And there were many contributions. And at the end of the day, Mr. Speaker directed the minister for some reach and that we should reschedule the opening or the, how do we call it, when fresh students have to
my
report,
first day.
But their first day of SHS to next year. Because truly speaking, it truly doesn't make sense. Me, I was a teacher. And it takes a lot for schools at that level to prepare to receive these young adults. They are just transitioning into another level of their lives. The teachers themselves are already complaining that because of the this shift system that they are running, they get so very busy. And when you are going to be receiving these fresh ones, you need to be in a certain state of mind to be able to do so. The teachers are complaining. The workers, the persons are complaining. Even parents are complaining. Some have not even sorted their reposting and all those issues out. Why the rush? You just this week, 2 days ago, the first postings released. Then you are asking them that Monday, how
go to school? Well,
where are the parents going to really get a whole region is postponing Farmers' Day that was known at the beginning of the year. That first Friday will be Farmers' Day. A whole region is postponing for lack of money. You just did posting 2 days ago, and you are asking parents, including those from Upper East to also.
I think
seriously speaking,
to support our viewers, myself, I've been inundated with concerns about the placement, and I really think that it's a tight one, very tight for parents who even have gotten the schools that they want, and then more so those who have not gotten the schools they want. And personally, I've always wondered, will Ghana be better off if we get the results first before we do our choices? I don't know. That's another debate. Because
people choose and then they
many times, when you know your results and you know then that I got aggregate 19, I won't qualify here. This is where I should go. I think it might help with the decision making. But to assume that based on my performance in my small school, I'll be going to Wegehe or St. Peter's or Presec, it's a very interesting thing. But I would hope that folks in education would give parents a listening ear, and not just the parents, those of us who are extended parents. And by way of that, I mean members of parliament or people who also lend an additional, arm or leg to these people. As I sit here, I'm cringing because, I had some phone calls yesterday for help.
Requests.
And in fact, I'm sitting here and I know that somehow probably maybe insulted me that I haven't honored their request. But it is because I need to be careful. You get hit with about 20 requests. If you start doling out, then the next thing you know, you have 30 parents. And how do you share across 30? So I need to be very patient and be sure of the numbers. And I think that looking at the pressures on parents, if Monday can be extended, because today's holiday literally makes it a three-day weekend, which makes it difficult for you to even get all the things you need for Monday.
And they're vacating they go home
they
again on
will
the
be waiting for Christmas.
Yes.
So what is the essence
I'm
of...
not even, I think that I don't want to go into the matter of even not going for December. But whatever it is, I think first, the Monday date is quite tight.
No.
For placement that was done just Tuesday, I think it's a tight corner, and I'll plead with the ministry.
Well, yesterday Parliament took it up after the statement, though the majority group decided to run away from...
No, leadership was there.
Only 3 persons.
That's leadership.
Why? It's Parliament for leadership. Everybody is elected to be in Parliament. I'm saying that...
They represent the majority.
No.
Okay,
they ran away from their budget.
24-hour economy is the only way to rescue us from the mess we find ourselves, and media should support and add, that's not the media's work. The media's work is to interrogate.
No, but it should be known.
Comes.
It should be on record. And please, they should put on record that Dr. Admango Kisi says that the 24-hour economy is good and an enhanced package of the 1D, 1F. That should be what should be put out there. An enhanced 1D, 1F. And I would commend the NDC.
I'm sure my producers are listening.
In the sense that, they have literally springboarded the 1D, 1F idea, and they have bought into it so well that they found another way of marketing.
I've always told people that if I were the national chairman of New Patriotic Party or the general secretary, someone like Dr. Adumako Kisi, I'll hold him like an egg. You see, they have a nice way of putting very difficult situations that they put themselves in. And I don't know if it's with medical doctors to encourage
because Dr. Okoboy was almost in the same picture. Watching him yesterday was very interesting.
He generally is like that, and I believe in multi-party democracy. So I like persons like that, even if they belong to you're doing right now. The other side.
Sami Jeffrey was reading the same thing to Dr. Okoboy yesterday.
Even if they belong to the other side, but unfortunately, he's facing all kinds of situations. But they need side faces. As they work themselves into opposition for the failures that we have seen, they will need faces like this.
Oh my goodness!
No, they will need faces like this.
We are coming back.
We are
coming back strong.
We will build a 24-hour economy.
Back
create so many opportunities for. Oh no. How can you come back with this? How can you come back with this?
Many changes.
No.
Many changes.
With changes. You yourself, you are even running away from your budget. You are postponing Farmers Day.
Let me just take a break. I'll be back shortly. We'll go into Parliament. We'll be back shortly.
MTN.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ambedu. Good afternoon, Mr. Asari. How is business doing? My business is collapsing. Why is your business collapsing? I sold my products and services to my clients on credit, and my debtors are not paying their debts. Have you heard of Logistical Consult Limited, a debt recovery company operating in all the 16 regions of Ghana? Not at all. Mr. Ampedu, all you need to do is to contact them on their customer service line. I recommend Logistical Consult Limited, a debt recovery company to financial institutions, businessmen and businesswomen, other companies, and also individuals. Logistical Consult has 98.4% debt recovery rate. We have professional debt recovery managers. You are assured of swift debt recovery. No recovery, no commission. For Logistical Consult Limited, no more write-offs. And we pre-finance the recovery ourselves.
Ready for something refreshing and great tasting? For your kids' enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
For your graduation enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
Beach hangout?
Angel Cola.
For all your refreshing moments?
Angel Cola.
For your parties, get-togethers, events, and celebrations, enjoy a chilled bottle of Angel Cola.
Radio Grandma, today is your day. Over to you.
Thank you.
Enjoyment Cola.
Angel Cola. The Enjoyment Cola. Enjoy all your moments and fun time with Angel Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
Discover the perfect blend of quality, modern elegance, and affordability with Kingdom Home Real Estate. At Kingdom Home Real Estate, we cater to both local and international clients, offering exceptional housing options in Ebri and Ikropong. Our properties are conveniently located, providing a tranquil atmosphere, top-notch security, and essential amenities such as electricity, water, and backup generators. Our strategic locations offer easy access to popular tourist destinations, all within a 30-minute drive from Accra. Visit us in Ikropong right after the Latte Junction, or in Ebri near the Ebri Girls Senior High School. Alternatively, you can reach us Kingdom Home Real Estate, where your dream home becomes a reality.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation, to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety. Creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatment like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness, so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the He.
For over 2 decades, the Ghana Club 100 Awards, powered by GIPC, has honored corporates Ghana for their immense contribution to the country's economy. It's been a story of splendor and prestige, as top 100 businesses are ranked for the outstanding performances in multiple sectors. It's time to celebrate corporate excellence once again at the 20th edition of the Ghana Club 100 Awards. Join us at the Grand Arena, Accra, on December 8th at 6 p.m. prompt. Purchase a standard ticket for 1,000 Ghana cedis and 2,000 cedis VIP by simply dialing *365*2100#. Ticket partner Koba. This event is sponsored by the KGL Group, B5 Plus, Ecom Ghana, Engine Ghana, Total Energies, Era Group, Enterprise Group, Zondatech, Eris Properties, West Coast Gas Ghana Limited, Federated Commodities, Republic Bank, FBN Bank, Glyco, Ghana Tourism Authority, National Lottery Authority, MNG Pharmaceuticals, Yango, Ghana Gas, VFS Global, Ghana Free Zones Authority, State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA, Delta Airlines, Stratcon Energy, Margins ID Group, Ronald Motors, Rankin Partner, KPMG, Beverage Partners, Say Cheers, Afro Beverages, Sahara Solis, Blue Nan, Pernod Ricard, Kehog Distilleries, Special Ice, Media Partners. Ghana Club 100, celebrating Ghana's business leaders.
Yena samenamwa high sense product bakwa amafo di wadanse pa sound system e bomusronko bass ya bass treble so a treble ya shada ye ne say onam bluetooth so a connect ma odam niam nyina na watie wo sound papa bi connect your phone e ma high sense sound system ne tie wonyo enfie bebre ni and a high sense e dia botre ada eniam bi ti say rice cooker, air fryer, ceramic hobby, and you make bini halogen oven, blenders, hand blenders, and a kettle. A hand mixer, food processor, pressure cooker, contact grill, vacuum sealers, iron, vacuum cleaner, and an ice maker. And near man on ne buo, and I said the end change nam kania. Internet growth when ni jihosano. Say home appliances and kwana opedia. To high sense, now fear be dawase. High sense, everyday prices for everyday people.
All right, you're welcome back to Good Morning Ghana. This one says that I'm coming to you this morning with a Bible quotation from Matthew 12:34, which says that out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh. Is good. Dr. Adumako Kisi is commending the 24-hour economy brought by the visionary leader, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. At the least, Dr. Adumako Kisi has proven that he is abreast with the issues than Dr. Baumia Maso Akpabuli Ayawasu is centered in. Don't put him into trouble. He says that it's an enhancement of 1D, 1F. Samuel Brian Boabing says that, Annie, I love the video you played earlier, but I would like to know, when can we expect an update from William Kisi? Please, he doesn't use William again. He's Kisi. Kisi Ajabin regarding the NLA test start. Africa $25 million corruption scandal involving Derek Appiah, Vanessa Mafo, and the former NLA boss. Is his silence influenced by the past role as a lawyer for the Derek Appiah, the managing director of Test Start Africa Limited? The integrity of the special prosecutor is crucial, as a cat cannot be, entrusted to protect a fish. Samuel O'Brien Boabin said, he says, Mr. Mohammed's 24-hour economy is already existing, and being driven, fueled by government's digitalization drive. You say, okay. Do you want to comment on the Kisi?
Well, the
briefly,
special prosecutor, in fact, he's made me a lover of Lumba again, in the sense that, his closing remark was quite solid. When you want to fight corruption, his office is an institution that will be victimized. His office, any prosecutor doesn't have it easy. Even a government prosecutor of any case, you face societal reversals, you face all the things that no prosecutor would ever want. So if you are the special prosecutor, you're the grand person who prosecutes any inefficiency or any corruption in this country, with the support of other services. And as it stands, it is nothing that I wish on myself, because you have enemies for life. And I think that he's come to a point in time where he's come to the real realization of what it takes to be a special prosecutor, and how tough, you'll be in a situation where your mother can even be somebody you have to literally disown, in the sense that your mother would come to you, or people will go through your mother to come to you to beg and plead that you don't go in a certain tangent. But when you swear that oath, you swear it alone. And I feel his pain, and he's truly exhibiting what we think should be the embodiment of a special prosecutor. Once you take that oath, it's damn the consequences. And I think that finally he has reached that point where he's come to a realization that this office I hold would cost me powerful relations. This office I hold would cost me my morals, and I think that he should be now a proponent, a pusher of people revisiting the Latin, dictum, the Herculean things, the Shakespearean books, and he'll come to realization that Shakespeare was no novice, and Shakespearean thinking is very important in governance, and I think that Macbeth is what I'm seeing here. This is literally Macbeth, and that is the moment. And let me tell Ghanaians that, listen, in as much as we are with technology, digitalization and all of these things, human nature hasn't changed. And you know, those things that are acrimonious, those things that have been in the Bible, in the Quran, still stays the same. Because you and I still drink water, and it's the same blood that is in us. And if Ghana would move forward in terms of our moral, values, I believe that we need to reinstitute the humanities and the Greek mythology into our dictum, because it is through those that you learn more. I mean, look at Romeo and Juliet story. People say Romeo and Juliet without even going into what that entire story of treachery, what's the other word? You know, backbiting, stabbing in the back means. You know, for somebody that Caesar raises and then later comes to, you know, take his life. You know, these are the things that Ghana needs to revisit, so that our moral fabric, you know, becomes strengthened, and that when you have well-grounded values, when you are taking decisions, you can question authority, and then you can bring authority to a realization that, hey, for the sake of the state, this is what has to be done, not because of your mother, sister, quote unquote, friends and family. So I think that we should, in a way, appreciate OSP for his boldness in coming out with truth in terms of the challenges he's facing. And I think that to an extent, the judiciary, they've been put there to do some things to support OSP. And he's done it in a very professional way.
Yeah, but the judiciary is not there to support anyone. The judiciary looks at the case you've brought before them.
Justice denied to anyone is not right. And I think that the judiciary is there for justice and freedom for those who have and those who don't have. And that is what the justice system should do. We measure our wellness as a nation based on how we treat the downtrodden. And I believe that you should win a court case in this country, not for how much you pay your lawyer, not for how much some judge finds in his pocket, and until we get there, or not for how superstardom somebody is. Until we get there, we'll have an issue. So I believe that based on what is happening and what the OSP is saying, we all as a nation have to give some weight to the depth that he's gone to. He should not be Ankonam. We should all be there to support the OSP in prosecuting the cases. And I think many of our religious leaders have also let us down, in the sense that they teach us not to commit crimes. And yet when people commit crimes, they're the first to go and plead on their behalf. And I think that balance is needed. But to a large extent, they have also worried the judicial system or the justice system, because fair should be fair. When you tell me not to steal, and I go and steal, and you're the same person who comes to beg on my behalf, then what are you really trying to do? They say the Lord is both merciful and just. So the churches should be merciful and just. But now I think they've lobbed it to too much mercy. And the justice is going down. And I think that the indiscipline in this country is also largely as a result of that. So if you look at the beauty of the description of freedom and justice, the scales have to be equal. So freedom, justice, not freedom and then justice is down. So right now the OSP is pushing an agenda to make sure that freedom and justice are on that balance. And I don't know if your editorial body has that picture, because the law pictures, most of them have that,
the balance,
that balance where freedom and justice should be on the same scale. And I think that's what the OSP is asking for, that through our laws, everything should be fair and balanced, not because of an individual. And he's saying that there'll be a day in time when a murderer would even go and seek for an injunction and will be granted by a judge. And I think that when and if we should get there, then we are doomed. And once the citizenry lose faith in the justice system, people will take arms on their own. People will revisit to the people who have worked against them, because they will have no faith in the justice system. And once you don't have faith in your laws as a legislator, the country, your foundation is broken. And I'm with him, and I want to tell him that today he's made me, to look at Lumba, that is Lumba's song again, because he has one song like
Which
that.
Which of the songs?
Oh,
anybody that comes there to mention that Lumba song, I'm careful.
Oh no, I mean
he
has a song with this same,
Ankunam.
Yes.
That may Ankunam.
No, where he says, is it like he's parting with you and he's going alone? There's
Many Undin cry.
It's in there. So I'm now finally a lover of Daddy Lumba again. That many he said it so well.
Why are you laughing?
Well, because of where Honorable Adumaku Kisi ended. But I should say that the special prosecutor is pained. He's pained because maybe he expected some level of cooperation and support which he's not getting rightly. So he has reached this point. But he gives me comfort when he said, look, no, I'm not going to resign. I will stay on and fight.
And he swore an oath.
But you would realize that it is true that we have 3 arms of government and media interface with all these arms. But it is a truism that per our arrangement, the executive is so powerful. And therefore, the head of the executive arm is very, very powerful, because he virtually appoints even persons who have to occupy many of the levels in one arm of the government, the judiciary. Virtually, judges from a certain rank all the way up. I think the high courts, and then the appeal courts, and then the Supreme Court are appointed by the president. It is only those below that the Judicial Council itself maybe does. And so it gives a lot of power to the president. That's why the president must watch his words and his comments. Because the arm may be independent, but the individuals in there may not be independent. So if the president speaks in a certain way, it tends to impact the behavior of some of the persons. You could decide to throw it out. That's why many of us were not happy. The comforting letters that the president was exchanging with, for example, Madame Cecilia Dapa, and some other comments somewhere on other related issues. Because you do so, people are watching. Oh, if this is the thinking of the president, how would we work to fit into that,
the outcome,
that thinking and get that outcome? If the president says, oh, this is what I want, how do we work? That was why many of us were worried when the president came to ascend off and made the kind of comments that he made against Honorable James Jackie Kwesi. Because you are the head of the executive who have the appointing authority over all these persons, some of whom are trying, various persons that you are already trying to push some guilt, some pronouncement on them, or not committing any wrong. And so I can appreciate the pain that the special prosecutor is going through. But like Dr. Tisi said, we all with him, and I believe that this openness that he has adapted, previously he was issuing statements, now he's upgraded it and had an interface with the media. the media could collaborate with it, because you can't fight corruption in secrecy. You need to fight it. So is it
the only people fighting? Well, I put something on Twitter. I don't know if let me just check if there's comment. But is it the judiciary the only institution that seems to be frustrating his work?
Well, it can't be only the judiciary. Of course, there will be government in there. There will be government in there. You could find indirect comments to that in the press engagement that he had. I am now like a lone bird, cannot be referencing only what the judiciary is what he's getting from the judicial arm. No, it is because of whatever it is that he's not getting. Look, truly speaking, but for the fact that the Speaker of Parliament doesn't belong to the ruling party, the Parliament will virtually also be under the control of the structuring, because majority of the persons that the president appoints are from Parliament itself. And usually, if the president kind of recommended had gotten the speakership, there are many things that would have just been thrown away, and nothing good may have been coming from Parliament itself. That explains why sometimes if you look at some of the laws that were passed today, they have to courts have to rule that no, go back and go and look at this, go back and go and look at that. So I would wish Kisia Jabio, but it has exposed one thing that especially members of the NDC, my party, have been raising to do with judiciary, that they've not been fair to them. Exactly what Kisia Jabin is saying, that there's some hand manipulating certain things in a way to affect his work. That same hand can also manipulate things against persons in opposition, as we sought to indicate. People thought that it wasn't okay. So, Honorable Admiral Potisi, I join you, but sometimes when our leaders also speak and they speak wrongly, let's condemn them. How many of us joined in condemning the president when he had those comforting letters with Cecilia Dapa that, oh, he knows that she will be absolved of all? How many of us joined in doing so? To straighten things up. We were running around defending it. And all that goes to affect the office in its work. But the special prosecutors, you know that if you really want to fight corruption and fight it, you work alone. You will have the support of many persons, because
but as a matter of fact, is that not what we need? You know, you cannot be fighting corruption and be having friends.
Because many of these friends are the ones through whom
it will compromise.
They can compromise sometimes. So, well, maybe it is not just the lack of friends, but the kind of pressures he's getting from those he thinks that will be the major, like would have been seen to be the major beneficiary of his work. Because maybe as a government or as an executive, if the special prosecutor works and works well, he will save you a lot of resources, and you could use same for other important projects that the people will feel happy about you. Maybe in his thinking, they should be happy about him doing that, but unfortunately, he's not seeing that joy and it will take some time for his fight results to reflect on the people who may ultimately support him. But the first line of support he would have loved to see is the immediate arms of government.
It's interesting how he is faced with this situation of Cecilia Dapais, for example, because I think that was the during his vetting, the exchanges between himself and Haruna at the time. That was the exact situation and the question that was posed to him. That if you find yourself in such a situation, what are you going to do? Yes, and his answer was, if you have the money that you are not able to answer to or prove its source, then of course it has to, and he's faced with it. So it's just
well, like he stated a little on that case, that the case has also taken some cross-border because part of the explanation that was given is that some of the money physically came from another country. So it was important to call upon that country to help. So we wait and see what happened in that case.
Well, let's do the quick one before. Yes, you want to say.
No. I was just going.
Was that the Upper East Regional the Upper East Region Farmers Day?
Yeah. It's confirmed that it's authenticated that they have postponed it, and as stated in that the statement is correct. It was signed by the chief director, as you rightly said, and that I'm so disappointed. It tells you how low governance has become, how cheap.
I've sent the letter to my team. If you have it, you can actually put it.
How cheap governance has become, and the people of Upper East, and not just Upper East, across the country, should see the regional minister was spending time talking about his understanding of 24-hour economy. How can he see to organization of such a major calendar activity? Because don't forget that Upper East is supposed to also be a major farming area. A lot of rice is also supposed to be produced from there. The Nasia rice and all those things are around that the Pualugu tomato thing that they promise us, all these were the Pualugu dam thing that they promised and never happened, that it will help irrigate. Look, this government is a bomb.
It is unfortunate, but I think, like I said, let's stick to the narrative. Greater Accra region. We did it together. So if they are looking to do that,
what was the briefing? What was the report the regions were sending to say the sector minister, and by extension maybe the office of the chief of staff, in relation to the Farmers' Day activity?
He was having sex with the wife at night.
Okay, at night. So he wasn't thinking. Maybe he was.
I think after that comment,
one was not thinking right, another one is having sex. So maybe he reached multiple orgasm that he couldn't think well again. What kind of thing is this?
I can't comment. I can't comment. Yeah.
Kofi Adams, if you, I don't know, the airline for the.
Well, the airline, they told us yesterday, they actually
which
brought
airline I'm referring to?
Other paper. Is it not the KT amount?
No.
Which one?
Oh, that one is still stalemate, no?
Yesterday, they brought us other paper, advertised it, and then they ran away. And the KT Hammond himself just came, passed around there, and because they ordered them not to come because they can't even defend their own budget.
That's the case.
They ran away.
That's
okay. So it hasn't been tabled again.
No, how can we table something that you yourself you are not there? The government is running away from its budget. In any case, this whole LI thing that they were doing has not even been properly captured even in the budget anyway. I don't know. I was
actually referring to the LI for the Sancho Kofi Akpafo.
And the CI, that one also.
The CI. Has it's been
that matured on the 29th. That also matured on the 29th. That's the day before yesterday. It matured.
So we can now create one.
So the constituency have been created. The electoral areas in Judicial Municipal and Guam has been rightly positioned. So now they can participate in the district level elections. But this is not without the challenge that the NDC candidate for Hohwe in 2020 and some other persons have taken the Electoral Commission to court for the fact that the South area should have necessarily been under Hohwe. But for now, what I can say is that the rules and then the constitution, the Guam constituency has been created. The electoral areas, the 13 electoral areas under the Guam district has been positioned under that district. The 27 electoral areas also under Jasikan with the new names that were proposed have also been rightly positioned. So now, for example, if you come to my hometown now, we have Tetema East and Tetema West. It used to be Adabraka Ketuje, and the Adabraka Ketuje didn't present it as being part of Tetema. So the position was that, no, let's make it right so that people will know that when we say Adabraka Ketuje, it means that it is the eastern part of what? Tetema. So now that one is Tetema East, and then the main Tetema town is Tetema West. So this is the only name change that has occurred in the Judicial municipal. So everything is matured now. The rest now is in the hands of the Electoral Commission to make sure when they appeared before the subsidiary legislation committee, the agreement was that if the CI matures before end of November, it's possible for them
to vote
to add them to the 19th December district level elections. So now that it matured on the 29th and they have become aware, that's a result of Parliament sitting on a number of Mondays. We sat on Mondays just so to get the CI mature early enough. The Electoral Commission should not disappoint the people of Jasikan and Guam anymore in terms of the district level elections. If they put in the necessary measures, possibly open nominations almost immediately, maybe by Monday a statement comes out for them to pick their forms by Wednesday, they can do the filling and then the public appearances could be done for them and they also will participate on the 19th. So they can be free of all these election headaches during the festive period of Christmas and New Year. So I think that is possible. The challenge now and the ball is in the court of the Electoral Commission. Parliament has done its work. We sat on 3 Mondays, the 13th of November, the I think 20th and then 27th. We sat on all these Mondays in order to get the CI to mature earlier than it should have taken. If we were not sitting on these Mondays, it would have matured, considering that today was a holiday. Its maturity would have been on the 5th of December. But we succeeded in bringing it earlier, and so they have enough time to be able to prepare for those elections. But so yesterday, the majority side, they ran away. Yeah. So they ran away from
by the 29th of November. The CI for the Guam constituency is now being created. So let's see how SAL, what we popularly call it SAL.
SAL was just the name. No, SAL was just the traditional areas. Okay. Because we have Central Kofi is one traditional area. Akpafu is another traditional area. Lolobi is a traditional area. And Likpe is a traditional area. So the first letters of the traditional areas were just taken. So SALL. That's how they were calling them SAL. But the name they recommended to be called as a district and a constituency is Guam. So now we don't have anything like SAL district. We have Guam district, we have Guam constituency. But the traditional areas that makes up the district and the constituency are Central Kofi, Akpafu, Likpe, and Lolobi, with the district capital and constituency capital in Likpe Mate. So
were you in Parliament yesterday?
No.
I didn't manage to get there.
You didn't manage? What was the meaning of that English?
I didn't find myself there.
You struggle, you will tire with the explanation.
Can you give me a video of, Parliament yesterday?
You got tired with the explanation. I didn't
manage to get there. What's the meaning of I didn't manage to get there?
This one, you go explain, Taya. I was doing parliamentary work outside of Parliament.
You go explain, Taya.
You go explain, Taya. Meeting with the constituents is also very important. I was with my constituency. We managed to do some office decoration of the the office that I use locally. So it's Christmas. So that's what I did yesterday and spent some time with some of my constituents. And it was nice. It was a very nice feeling. In fact, I couldn't have enjoyed it so much.
So the budget has not been passed?
Well, the budget has not been passed.
Just as we have a hang parliament, we have a hang
budget. Our time is up.
The budget is hanging. But they understood clearly that the budget has not been passed. The majority leader and the finance minister were just trying to deceive the people out there. And we went through all the right processes. Our standing orders allowed for what happened.
Next week.
The speaker had not made any decision the speaker did not gavel. The speaker only expressed an opinion that has been challenged under Order 1132, and that a head count was to be taken. And the speaker wanted the head count to be supported with the register, and they ran away because they knew they would be bad.
We didn't run away. We
what did you do?
We paused.
Right. So I think two major things we know today. The budget is not being passed. It's still hanging like Parliament. The Upper East region is not having its Farmers' Day today for reasons of financial constraints.
Exigence. He should have come for a better word.
You are just a semantics guy. You like playing words. Like you didn't manage to get to Parliament.
He's just spoken the truth. The thinking of
anyway. Okay, have a happy holiday. So coming from Taka, we're bringing you the celebration of the Farmers' Day. And all the details that will come out of it will air it here on Metro TV. Honorables, thank you so much for making time with me today. But congratulations to Nana Akomia.
What did you do? You didn't tell us that. Maybe we'll congratulate
He's created a new human being.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's
okay. We understand.
That one we congratulate.
We understand.
So but just.
Pascal is showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that he hired a security guard to protect the data shed. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded to cloud storage yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
Hello, my friends. My name is Calkit Toothpaste. Wow. I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky younger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Calkits. Happy smile.
Hello Ghana, KNUSC ISWAM, Republic Welfare Limited, a subsidiary of Republic Bank Ghana, presents Women in Business Conference. Are you a young woman entrepreneur with a small business or medium-scale business? You can't miss this amazing program coming up at Cafe Banoa Jowulua Crown on the 30th of November 2023, 9 a.m. sharp. Learn about loan financing, access to loans. All these benefits await you. Don't miss this amazing opportunities. Investment is a cool 1,000 Ghana cedis. Covers all course materials, coffee break, lunch, networking. See you there.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for you and couple the makers in
The pneumatological aberration of the Lord revealeth unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. I'm up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. At the K Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Falco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafubuachi Hospital Junction.
Takwadi. Number 9 market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program
from 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254.
Terms and conditions apply.
Good Morning Ghana is brought to you by MTN.
More than 80% of global trade is carried by sea. Most of the products we consume daily travel through ports, making them a